get into the papers that we have for you today. And yeah, I've been joined this morning by the bright and beautiful, my one and only, Apioko. She's right here. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm well, David. How are you?
I'm
Good
good,
morning.
Good. Yes.
But all these adjectives that you're using to describe me, you owe me.
Why do I owe you?
You want me to tell the whole world?
Yeah, go ahead, tell them.
I should tell them.
Tell them.
I should disgrace you.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah,
I'm not embarrassed.
I should say, you have no shame.
No, I have no shame.
May God help you.
All right, yeah. So, but it's good to see you this morning.
It's good to be here. It's good to be here. Yeah, so the dailies. Yeah. You want to start?
Yes, let me just have the daily graphic on the kick started.
Solid.
And we have here autism symptoms reversible. This is coming from a pediatrician. This is actually very interesting. I think it's very important to know this, and we'll find out more about that.
Yeah, I mean, autism is something that's more common in Ghana than we think. I mean, in other jurisdictions, right from the time a child is young, you begin to pick up the symptoms because teachers, parents, guardians are sort of oriented to identify what it looks like. Here, not so much, but I think we're getting there. There's a lot of work being done. There are entities that have really been advocating. Mental Health Authority has also cracked down on it. So it's interesting to hear that, you know, here we're having conversations and now we're also looking about, you know, how we can reverse it if it's possible. Yeah, so that's good to hear.
Good news. Yeah, so we also have Africa's largest rooftop solar project commissioned in Tema. This is great, you know, because the power replacement, you know, and having alternative power sources is so critical.
I love that, but so what's that for?
No, so
is it for a particular building or entity, or it's supposed to feed a bigger area?
It's to feed a bigger area.
Okay.
It's to feed a bigger area. But I am just thinking about, you know, off the back of this. I mean, we'll read that in a bit more detail shortly. But I'm just thinking about how, you know, look at how many roofs we have in Accra, for example, right? And if many more roofs were covered, that's just surface area. That allows you to tap into the potential of the sun that exists. The sun is for us all day.
No, it's brilliant. So I have solar at home.
Yes.
And it's a wonderful experience.
Yeah, I mean, Charlie, we should get into that.
And it's clean energy, which is also important for the kinds of things we're experiencing environment-wise these days. But yeah, we have solar at home. It carries everything. In fact, we do the grid, you know, and then we have more of the heavy things, maybe like ACs and whatnot on the grid. But from 6 p.m., we're fully on solar throughout the night. Yeah. Wow. It will switch over at 6 a.m. It's automatic.
It saves you a lot of power.
Yeah, and the young man, it's automatic.
Oh, hello.
And the young man who set us up, very brilliant guy, very tech-savvy, Ghanaian, young Ghanaian guy. Okay. He controls everything from his phone at home.
Wow.
Yeah, he can send us screenshots. This is the level of your power. Oh, it's not very sunny today, so maybe. And he can shift appliances from the main grid to the solar with a touch of a button from wherever he is. It's so brilliant. This is a young Ghanaian guy.
Wow. I know, I love it. I love to hear this.
So, yeah, it's possible. It's not impossible. The initial investment may seem like a lot, but long term,
it's worth it.
It's a steal.
Wow, wow. Let me give you one final one here. It says, decade on remand without trial, 12 gain freedom at last. Wow. They've been on remand for 10 years plus. Yeah, some of them up to 11 years without trial.
That's a whole lifetime.
That's terrible.
And that's injustice.
It's an indictment on
That's injustice.
It's injustice, yes.
That's injustice. You know, when we talk about social justice, sometimes we think of the very big ticket items. So sexual harassment and what will come with that, defilement, that kind of thing, murder, high robbery, and the repercussions of that. But we don't think about things like this. And unless this makes it into the news, you don't even know that there are people who are dealing with this. Imagine you've been told you committed a crime. You may or may have not. And it's in Ghana, our system is innocent until proven guilty, right?
Yes.
For 11 years. Your life is on hold.
Yeah.
If you work in a company and you need to be investigated before you are put back on payroll.
It means you don't have a job. No. You can't go anywhere. And being on remand means you are actually restrained. You can't. You are not even at home. You are in custody.
And then your
For 11
family,
years.
the people around you, if you have dependents, can you imagine? That's an injustice.
Yeah.
And you see, whether the verdict of you being guilty or not,
Yeah.
that's not the case.
Yeah.
The justice exists when a pronouncement is made for not guilty, but it also exists when a pronouncement is made for guilty.
Yeah.
And it's not just for the individual, but for everybody,
society
the
at
society.
large. Yeah.
So we need to take a look at that. I'm really curious to know why that is happening. It's wrong.
It's wrong.
It's wrong.
Yeah. All right, you give us.
So we have the Ghanaian Times here, and very big story here. CRI fumes at 4 SHSs, accusing authorities of neglect towards students' welfare. And, you know, this has to do with death of students in schools. David, over the last several months, every now and then we hear that a student has died
because
in
they
school.
refused, you know,
Exact
permission
healthcare.
to go out
Either
for
not
healthcare.
allowed to go to the hospital, or the ailment seemed small.
Yeah.
You know, I keep saying that. Look, let's approach things with a more sophisticated approach.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Headaches mean things.
Yes.
If somebody, if a student, a child, an adult is telling you, I have a headache. They said it this morning. They've said it in the evening. They say it in 2 days. It means something.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not a health practitioner, but it could mean, and it could
it
even
means
be
so many
it could even
different
be
things.
chronic migraines. It
Yeah.
could be light sensitivity.
Yeah.
Maybe they need. There's so many
It could be
things.
hypertension.
It could be hypertension.
Yes, it's so many different
So
things.
many
You
things.
don't know, and you, the teacher that is sitting there, have decided that you know, but you don't know anything about medicine. You don't know anything. You don't understand what
honestly.
symptoms mean. Because I have a headache.
know
A headache
this-
can mean 20 different things,
Or
30
my
different
stomach
things.
is aching.
Yeah.
It could be food poisoning.
Yes.
It
Yes.
could be, you know, some gastric problem. It could be an appendix issue.
It could be
Or
an appendix issue.
A
Look
part
at
of your
that.
body is swollen. That's edema. Your body is not supposed
say
to retain
it's not a big
water.
deal. Don't go
no,
anywhere.
let's be serious about this. When and you know those who have the right and the responsibility to look after our young people who are in school. When yes, there are students who will tell
Make
you
any
I'm not
excuse.
feeling
Yeah.
well. You know, they'll tell you I'll be sick tomorrow because I don't want to write the test. Or I don't want to do the weeding or whatever it is. But you cannot pronounce judgments
No, you can't.
ahead of the evidence.
No, you can't.
You can't.
You can't.
Let the child, the young person go seek the attention. If their parents need to be called in, that's what happens. And look, there are times when I was in high school, we had an infirmary. I mean, I went to a school where the infirmary was very well up and running. Then we had hospitals that we could go to and whatnot. But as soon as you get to the infirmary, no ailment or no complaint is treated as unimportant. As unimportant. Everything was taken seriously.
Wow.
And there are situations where us as students would think, oh, as for David did this one day, because they say we have an econs test, you know, he's trying to get himself out of it. But then by the end of the day, David is very unwell.
Yeah.
So you can't take anything for granted. There's no reason why our students should be dying in school.
No, it's ridiculous.
Really?
Yeah, it's an indictment on the entire system from Ministry of
I tell you.
Education.
And again, in
Ghana
another
Education
part of the
Service
world,
need to
there'll
do
be
better.
crackdowns on these schools, and investigations will be held.
And that's
they
what I
want to see,
expect
was the child poisoned?
Education Ministry
Was
to
the
be
child
doing.
killed? We are taking it too lightly. So
Yeah.
the person died, then okay.
We move on.
Oh no, it's terrible, terrible. We can't be doing this. And we have here as well, Dr. Amin Adam is there, Finance Minister.
Okay.
And there's a quote from him, 193 health facilities nationwide enrolled onto e-health platform.
Okay.
That's brilliant news. I do hope that we are able to sustain the use of it. E-health is the way to go.
Okay.
And then here as well, increased size of oil blocks to attract more investment to sector, says Dr. Mantiao.
All right. The Chronicle, let me quickly give you one of the big ones here. Construction equipment for MMDAs arrive. Distribution starts soon. I think this is critical because there's a lot of work they have been tasked with, but they're not doing because they don't have the requisite equipment. And so this is good news. This is one of the big headlines on the front page of the Chronicle.
And we have the daily guide here. There's a picture of our Speaker of Parliament, the Right Honourable Alban Bagbin. Speaker hosts Ivorian counterpart. And that's great news. I'd like to see what comes out of that.
Yeah.
Herbert Scrapper unveiling the plaque to officially commission the solar project.
Yeah,
There's a picture there, so that's what you were talking about earlier. Then we have reform SHS policies to enhance student well-being. Again, the CRI is speaking. 5,000 Kayaye to be trained, says the NEIP boss, and that's great news to hear. Nana fulfills UHAS promise, and you can see a completed phase of the phase 2 of the project in whole. It's called the
It's a beautiful edifice.
That's
I
amazing. I love it. Very modern, very
The Finder has a number of headlines. Let me give you a big one here for me. The story is on page 9. It says here, no decision yet to spill water from Akosombo Dam. And I think that's important.
I hope we don't get there.
Yeah, I do hope we don't get there. But that's important to understand in the context of, I like the fact that they preempted and said, there will be a possible spillage. You see, because I think for too long we have lapses in our communication. You know, so it's good that they give us a heads up that there may be a spillage, but it's dependent on rainfall, depending on other things. You know, so water that's filling the dam and all that.
It means we're learning from our mistakes.
Yeah, which is good. Which is good. Yeah, please go ahead.
All right, the Herald is here. Akufo-Addo's daughter's baby daddy got 34.9 million US dollar state contracts. That's what we see on the Herald. I don't know what to make of this story. NDC launches national campaign in Tamale tomorrow.
Okay.
And we have here Justice Sufai Akufo condemns SNIT management. Former Chief Justice there speaking loudly and boldly. MTN's monopoly and data prices and matters are rising. And there's a picture of the MTN CEO there. You know, the conversations coming out of that. Nungwa Stool accuses president's bodyguard of abuse of power, uses soldiers and police to destroy properties, despite the fact that that's not supposed to happen. So that's what the Herald is telling us this morning on the front page.
All right. I have the Republic Press, and I'm not going to give you all the headlines here, but one of the two key ones that I find interesting here. We'll beat up Koku. NDC threatens. It has a photo of Koku Anyedoho and Mustafa Bande. I don't think that's the solution to your problems. The problems you're experiencing, the solution is not beating. The solution is intelligent people sitting down together and discussing.
Dialogue.
Okay, so Mustafa Bande, honestly, I don't know if you are the one who said this, but if you are the one who said this, no, it doesn't cut it for me. All right, I think the NDC needs to dial back. Okay, get some elders if you need to, sit with Koku Anyedoho and his people and talk. That's the way to go. All right, we're not in 2024. I'm going to beat you. Then that's how we're resolving problems. Please, are we children in the park? All right, so the other one here, Abby. Dildos, vibrators use are still unlawful. Supreme Court insists.
What, because they're terming it as a natural carnal knowledge?
Yes, they are terming it as a natural carnal knowledge. And here's the question I have. Now, I'm not going to do any more papers. I want to just take 30 seconds on this matter.
This is very important to you. I wonder why.
You see, a natural carnal knowledge, I have a problem with their interpretation. And, I mean, it's my opinion. So, you know, here's where I stand. If you are using an item that's not part of your body, okay, to penetrate your body, right? How is that described as a natural carnal knowledge? When, if your ear is itching, you can put a cotton bud and put it inside your ear to clean your ear. That's a natural carnal knowledge. Cleaning your ear with cotton bud, based on this logic, is a natural carnal knowledge. I end my case here, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
I would like to read more about that story and see, you know, where it goes. But yeah, I'll just go quickly. The Informer. Dambuchiri poses confidence in successor. Then Ghana Post workers up in arms against management over varied allegations. Then also, towards effective service delivery, births and deaths registry needs help, says the minister. So very interesting headlines there. very interesting things happening in Ghana.
Yeah, generally.
Generally.
Anyway, well, you know what? We're going to have a very interesting conversation shortly. We're going to be opening the phone lines, and I hope you will get to see some of the interesting things people will be saying when they call us. So the conversation is going to be about exes. And we are saying that, how would you feel, okay, or will you be okay if your partner still keeps in touch with their exes? This is the question.
So what you're asking me? Or you just want me to listen to what people say?
Way into it briefly, 10 seconds. Would you be okay?
Well, I think it depends on
It depends on what the relationship.
Look, human beings cross each other in their lifetime. There are seasons for relationships, seasons as to why somebody should be in your life for a particular period of time. If you still have a friendship with a person, I don't see a problem with it. But if there's evidence of the fact that there's still something
more than
brewing,
just friendship,
yes, then that I would have a problem with.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think that a lot of the time this exes conversation is overrated. Yeah, I'm friends with most of my exes.
Okay.
But we don't talk every day.
Okay.
Yeah, but we you know, we're cordial, and I think as
cordial
human beings,
is good.
That's what it should
cordial
be.
is good. Yeah. All right. Well, you can. This is it for the news review segment.